My beloved brothers and sisters, every one of us reaches a moment when the heart feels heavy, when the path seems blocked, and when the soul whispers, when will Allah's help come? It is in those exact moments when you think the door is closed, when the world feels silent, that Allah is arranging everything in your favor. The believer's journey is not about how quickly things happen, but about how deeply we trust when nothing seems to move. Remember, when you are closest to giving up, that may be the very moment when Allah is about to give you everything. Think of how Allah operates, perfectly, precisely, purposefully. He is never early, never delayed. He knows when your heart is ready, when your soul is prepared, and when your faith has been tested enough to receive what you've been praying for. The Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah's promise is true, but most of them do not know. Surah Yunus 10:55. When we rush the plan, it's because we cannot see what Allah is still arranging behind the scenes. The delay you fear may be the mercy you need. The waiting you hate may be the polishing of your soul before the reward arrives. Look at the story of Prophet Yusuf as he was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unjustly. Yet at every step, Allah was positioning him for greatness. When he sat alone in the darkness of the prison cell, perhaps he wondered, why is this happening to me? But Allah was not punishing him. He was preparing him. Every moment of pain was a step toward elevation. And when the time came, Allah raised him from a prisoner to a ruler, from loneliness to leadership, from tears to triumph. That is how Allah works. He takes you through the valley before showing you the mountain view. Sometimes you feel like your du'as are lost in the wind. You've cried in sujood, you've whispered in the late hours of the night, and still you see no result. But Allah hears every word. Every tear that falls for His sake is recorded. The Prophet ﷺ said, know that victory comes with patience, relief with affliction, and ease with hardship. Every hardship carries within it the seed of your ease. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and say, if that delay hadn't happened, I wouldn't have received this blessing. There are countless moments in life when Allah's help arrives just when hope seems gone. A family struggling financially suddenly finds an unexpected provision. A believer who thought a dream was lost sees it revived in a new and better form. A sick person recovers when all odds were against them. These are not coincidences. These are divine appointments. Allah's plan is never random. It is written with mercy. The same Lord who split the sea for Musa can open a path for you. The same Lord who brought water from a barren desert for Hajar can bring blessings into the driest chapter of your life. So relax. Let your heart breathe again. Stop measuring your worth by how quickly your du'as are answered. Allah's delay is not denial. It is divine design. Sometimes He withholds something now because He wants to give you something far greater later. The believer's task is not to control the outcome, but to trust the author. When you let go of anxiety and hold on to tawakkul, peace begins to fill the space where worry once lived. Prepare yourself because the blessings you've been praying for are already on their way. Maybe not in the form you expect, but in the form that's best for you. Trust that Allah knows when to give, how to give, and to whom to give. Your responsibility is to stay in remembrance, stay in gratitude, and stay ready. Allah is about to give you everything you once thought you lost, at the perfect moment, in the most beautiful way, when your heart is finally ready to receive it. There are times in life when everything feels like it's standing still, when no matter how much effort you give, nothing seems to move forward. You pray, you plan, you strive, and yet doors remain closed. In those moments the heart begins to whisper doubts, wondering if Allah has forgotten you. But those are often the exact moments when Allah is closest, arranging everything perfectly, testing your patience, and preparing you for something greater than you can imagine. Before every sunrise, there is a long stretch of darkness. Before every victory, there is a season of silence. This stillness, this waiting, is not a punishment. It is a divine pause before transformation. Allah does not delay because He forgets. He delays because He is preparing. The heart of a believer must learn that waiting is not wasted time. When Allah makes you wait, it is not because He is withholding blessings, but because He is shaping you to carry them with wisdom and gratitude. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil. From above, it looks like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, it's being transformed. Its shell is breaking, roots are forming, and strength is growing where no one can see. That's how Allah works with you in moments of silence. You may feel buried, but in truth you are being planted. You are being nurtured for the harvest that is coming. Many of us struggle because we want quick answers, fast results, and immediate relief. But Allah's plan is not rushed. He knows the exact moment when your dua should manifest. He knows what needs to align in your life and in the hearts of others before that blessing arrives. If you receive it too early, you might not be ready to handle it. If it comes too late, it would lose its meaning. Allah's wisdom is perfect, and His timing carries purpose in every second. He is teaching you to trust not the process, but the planner. Look at the story of Prophet Ayub, who lost everything, his health, his wealth, and his family. For years he remained patient, his lips never ceasing to say Alhamdulillah. When Allah finally restored his blessings, he did so in abundance. Why? Because Ayub's waiting purified his soul. The delay wasn't a denial, it was elevation. The pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The same is true for you. What feels like an endless night may be the prelude to a dawn so bright, it will make every tear worth it. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed with hardship comes ease." Surah Ash-Shah, 94:6. Notice that he doesn't say after hardship, but with it. Ease is not separate from your trial, it is intertwined within it. Even in your moments of struggle, Allah is sending small signs of relief, a kind word, an unexpected message, a moment of peace in prayer. These are the gentle assurances that He is near. The storm you face is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to strengthen your trust. Every believer experiences the stillness before the breakthrough. That silence is sacred. It is the space where faith grows stronger than sight, where the heart learns to surrender. The moments when life feels stuck are not the end, they are the turning point. Just as a flower blooms after the harshness of winter, your heart will bloom after this season of waiting. You are being molded by divine hands, tested in the furnace of patience, and refined into something far more resilient and radiant than before. When Allah is about to give you everything, He first strips away what does not serve your soul. He removes distractions, detaches your heart from illusions, and places you in a state where you rely only on Him. That is where the real preparation begins. It may hurt, it may feel lonely, but this is the purification before the blessing. The storm is not sent to destroy you, it is sent to clear the path for what is coming. The believer who holds on during this stillness will one day look back and realize that the waiting was the most sacred part of the journey, for it was in that silence that Allah was closest, arranging what eyes could not see. Allah's timing is unlike anything we can imagine. We measure life in minutes, hours and days, but Allah measures it in wisdom, purpose and readiness. He knows the perfect moment when a prayer should be answered, when a door should open, or when a blessing should descend. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah, 2:216. Our limited perception often causes us to misjudge delays as setbacks, but in reality, they are divine precision at work. Allah's timing is never late, never early, and never random. It is perfect in every detail, aligning countless unseen factors to bring what is best for us at exactly the right moment. Consider the intricacies of life itself. Every season arrives on schedule. The sun rises and sets, the rain falls, the crops grow. Nature operates in perfect timing, without haste or error. The rivers do not overflow too soon, and the fruits do not ripen before their time. Similarly, Allah orchestrates the events of our lives with the same precision. What seems like delay is often a process of alignment, aligning your heart, your surroundings, and even the people around you to make the blessing most fruitful. If you receive it too early, you might not appreciate it. If too late, it could miss its purpose. Divine timing is a protection and a preparation. Reflect on the story of Musa and his encounter with Allah on Mount Sinai. He led his people out of Egypt, escaped Pharaoh's oppression, and wandered through the desert. The Israelites were impatient, frustrated, and desperate for guidance. Yet, Allah did not deliver the promised land immediately. He prepared Musa and his people, shaping their hearts and teaching lessons that would last generations. The delay was intentional. It was a preparation for the responsibility that came with receiving what they had been promised. Every moment of waiting had a purpose, and when the time arrived, the blessing was not only tangible, but transformative. Delays are often tests of faith. They measure whether our trust in Allah is superficial or profound. When you face waiting periods, you are being invited to surrender fully, to rely not on your plans, but on Allah's wisdom. The Quran teaches, and rely upon Allah, and sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. Surah Al-As, 33:3. Surrendering to divine timing requires patience, humility, and awareness that what Allah knows is infinitely greater than what we can perceive. Every delay carries hidden mercy, and every moment of waiting is an opportunity to grow closer to Him. Real life illustrates this principle in countless ways. Consider someone who prays for a career breakthrough, but faces repeated rejections. They may feel overlooked or forgotten, yet, those very rejections may be protecting them from harm, guiding them toward a better opportunity, a more fitting environment, or a path that aligns with their purpose. Perhaps a marriage proposal seems delayed for years, but Allah's timing ensures that the right person enters their life when hearts are truly ready to accept each other. In every instance, the perfection of timing preserves the outcome for maximum benefit. The key is to recognize that divine timing is accompanied by preparation. Sometimes, Allah delays blessings to purify the heart, to cultivate gratitude, or to develop resilience. Every delay carries with it a hidden grace, a way to ensure that when the door opens, the heart is ready, the soul is mature, and the blessing is fully appreciated. Trusting Allah's timing means trusting that nothing in your life is wasted, nothing in your waiting is in vain, and that the mercy and wisdom behind every delay are tailored specifically for you. When we internalize this, our perspective on life transforms. Waiting no longer feels like punishment. It becomes a sacred opportunity for growth. We learn to anticipate blessings without anxiety, to remain patient without despair, and to prepare ourselves for what is already written for us. Divine timing is both a mercy and a test, a reminder that while we cannot see the full picture, Allah's vision encompasses every detail, every eventuality, and every heart that relies upon Him. Allah communicates with His servants in ways that are often subtle, hidden within the ordinary, and easy to overlook. He does not always answer our du'as in the form we expect, nor does He always provide relief immediately. Instead, He sends signs, gentle, sometimes almost imperceptible, to guide, reassure and prepare us. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows, while you know not. Surah Al-Baqarah, 216. Allah's signs are not meant to overwhelm us, but to awaken us to His presence and wisdom. They appear in the perfect timing, often when patience has reached its limit, serving as a gentle nudge to trust Him completely. These signs can take many forms: a conversation that shifts your perspective, a small opportunity that seems insignificant at first, a closed door that ultimately leads to a better path, or even a quiet moment in prayer that brings clarity. Life is filled with these divine signals, but the challenge lies in recognizing them. Many of us expect Allah's help to be dramatic, obvious or immediate, yet the most profound guidance often comes wrapped in simplicity. The believer who pauses, reflects and observes begins to see that even the smallest occurrences can carry immense spiritual significance. Consider the story of Yunus who was swallowed by the whale. From the human perspective, it seemed like the end, a hopeless and terrifying situation with no escape. Yet, within the belly of the whale, he realized the magnitude of his reliance on Allah, and turned wholeheartedly in supplication. His dua, heartfelt and sincere, became the means through which Allah delivered him. The apparent calamity was actually a sign and a test, perfectly timed to elevate his faith and trust. When the believer is patient and attentive, moments that seem like despair often become turning points, spiritual awakenings that prepare them for a blessing far greater than anticipated. In our own lives, we often overlook these subtle interventions. Perhaps an unexpected delay in work is actually guiding you away from harm. Perhaps a rejected opportunity is redirecting you towards something better aligned with your purpose. Perhaps a sudden encounter or an unplanned event carries a message meant to strengthen your faith or nudge you closer to the divine path. These are Allah's signs at work, designed to remind you that nothing in your life is random, and that every occurrence, every twist of fate, carries meaning and mercy. Recognizing Allah's signs also cultivates gratitude. When a blessing arrives, after moments of waiting and uncertainty, it is more deeply appreciated because the heart has been prepared. The struggle, the patience, and the anticipation heighten the joy of the reward. Allah's signs are like footprints along a trail. If we follow them attentively, we are guided safely to the destination He has ordained. The believer who notices these signs understands that the universe itself is orchestrated by Allah's wisdom, and that patience and attentiveness are the keys to seeing the unfolding plan. Signs from Allah also bring reassurance and hope. When everything seems stagnant, when the heart is heavy with worry, even the smallest occurrence, a word of encouragement, a moment of clarity, or an unexpected solution can serve as a divine whisper. I am near and your relief is coming. The Prophet ﷺ reminded us that victory is often closest when we feel most burdened, and ease often arrives precisely when we have endured the greatest struggle. These signs, carefully placed by Allah, are designed to revive our hope, strengthen our faith, and remind us that the plan is unfolding perfectly, even if we cannot yet see it. Attentiveness to Allah's signs requires faith, reflection, and surrender. It requires the heart to remain soft, open, and receptive to guidance. When we cultivate this awareness, we begin to notice the subtle ways in which Allah is preparing us, guiding us and blessing us. Every experience becomes a potential lesson, every delay a potential mercy, and every challenge a preparation for the ultimate gift that awaits. The believer learns to trust not only the outcome but the timing, understanding that Allah's signs arrive at the perfect moment when hearts are ready to receive the blessings that He has meticulously arranged. Surrendering to Allah is one of the most profound acts a believer can engage in, yet it is often the hardest to practice. True surrender requires letting go of the illusion that we control our lives and fully trusting that Allah's plan is perfect. The heart that surrenders understands that delay is not denial, hardship is not punishment, and uncertainty is not absence. Life's challenges are not obstacles but instruments of preparation, shaping the believer into someone ready to receive the immense blessings that Allah has already decreed. Surrender is not passive, it is an active, conscious choice to rely completely on the one who created and sustains everything. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes reliance upon Allah as a key to peace, and rely upon Allah and sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. Surah Al-Asr 33:3. This reliance is not mere verbal acknowledgement, but a deep internalized state where the heart feels safety, even amidst chaos. The believer who surrenders trusts that what is meant for them will find its way, and what is not meant for them will never reach them. Life then becomes a journey not dictated by fear but guided by faith. The storms that once terrified now teach patience, and the delays that once frustrated now reveal hidden wisdom. Consider the story of Prophet Ibrahim who was asked to leave his home and family for an unknown destination. He did not know where he was going or what lay ahead, yet he surrendered completely to Allah's command. His heart's trust allowed him to walk into the unknown with unwavering faith. This surrender opened the path to immense rewards, not only for him but for generations to come. Just as Ibrahim trusted Allah without knowing the outcome, we too are invited to place our plans, dreams and anxieties into Allah's hands, trusting that His wisdom surpasses all understanding. Surrendering also transforms the way we perceive trials. What once seemed like setbacks become opportunities for growth. Delays are reframed as divine timing, and obstacles become lessons in patience and resilience. When a believer stops resisting Allah's decree, clarity emerges. Decisions become easier, the heart feels lighter, and the mind can focus on preparation rather than worry. Surrender allows the soul to rest, knowing that the one who created it knows exactly what is best and when it should be delivered. Real-life experiences demonstrate the transformative power of surrender. A person waiting for a career breakthrough may face repeated rejection but finds peace when they release control and focus on personal growth. The doors that seemed closed eventually open in ways far greater than imagined, often aligning with a purpose they had not considered. A person struggling in relationships or family matters finds that surrendering to Allah's wisdom enables them to act with patience, wisdom, and compassion, leading to resolutions that would have been impossible under stress and fear. In surrender, we align ourselves with divine timing, allowing Allah to orchestrate outcomes in ways we could never engineer ourselves. Surrender also deepens gratitude. When a blessing arrives after patience and trust, it is appreciated more profoundly because the heart has been conditioned to recognize Allah's mercy. The struggles endured along the way are not forgotten but serve as reminders of how His guidance and timing are perfect. The believer learns to see life not as a series of random events but as a meticulously designed journey, each step intended to prepare them for the next. When surrender is embraced fully, it creates a sense of ease in the heart that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Fear, anxiety, and frustration lose their grip, replaced by calm and confidence in Allah's plan. The believer who surrenders walks through life with certainty, knowing that every delay, every hardship, and every joy is part of a divine orchestration. This trust is not passive, it is a dynamic force that shapes decisions, strengthens patience, and illuminates the path ahead. Surrender prepares the soul to receive blessings in their fullest form. It allows the heart to remain soft and open, ready to embrace whatever Allah sends. The believer who surrenders is like a vessel waiting to be filled, untainted by desperation or attachment to outcomes. In this state, even the smallest moments become infused with purpose, and life itself transforms into a continuous act of trust and devotion. Reviving trust and full reliance on Allah is an essential part of preparing the heart and soul for the blessings He intends to bestow. It is easy to place our hope in plans, opportunities, or people, but true preparation comes from turning entirely to Allah and cultivating patience, gratitude, and vigilance. The believer who waits with hope does not do so passively. They actively align their actions, intentions, and hearts with divine guidance. When we surrender our timelines, expectations, and desires to Allah, we open the door for His mercy to flow in ways we could never anticipate. Every moment of conscious trust and obedience is a preparation for the blessings that are already written for us. Allah repeatedly reminds us in the Quran that He provides for His servants in the best ways, and whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out, and will provide for him from where he does not expect. Surah At-Tatla 65:2-3. These verses illustrate that divine provision often arrives when we least expect it, but only when the heart is ready to receive it. Readiness comes not merely from physical preparation but from spiritual alignment, a heart purified of impatience, a mind freed from despair, and a soul anchored in trust. When we actively seek this readiness, we position ourselves to receive the mercy that Allah has already prepared. The believer who trusts Allah completely cultivates patience as a form of active preparation. Waiting is not empty time. It is a process of spiritual refinement. It strengthens the heart, sharpens faith, and builds resilience. Every delay, every test, every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to grow closer to Allah. Like a farmer tending to the soil before planting seeds, the believer prepares the inner self before the harvest arrives. Patience allows the blessing to be fully appreciated and utilized, preventing it from being squandered in haste or misused through carelessness. Gratitude is another vital element of preparation. The believer who constantly recognizes Allah's mercy, even in small things, develops a heart that is receptive to greater blessings. A grateful heart is not focused on lack or limitation, it sees abundance in what already exists. When you are thankful for the small comforts, the roof over your head, the food on your table, the breath in your lungs, you are training yourself to recognize and value the larger provisions Allah has in store. Gratitude transforms anticipation into joy, turning waiting into a meaningful act of worship. Vigilance and mindfulness are equally important. Being aware of Allah's presence, observing His guidance, and acting with integrity in every situation ensures that when the moment of blessing arrives, we are ready to respond appropriately. A heart distracted by worldly concerns or clouded by doubt may miss the opportunity, while a heart anchored in faith recognizes the signs and acts with wisdom. Preparation involves a continuous effort to keep the soul alert, the mind focused, and the intentions sincere. Real-life examples show the power of this preparation. A student who studies diligently while trusting Allah for success finds doors opening at the right moment. A person seeking a spouse who maintains sincerity, patience, and ethical conduct finds a partner whose arrival aligns perfectly with their readiness. Even in matters of health or wealth, those who prepare themselves spiritually are often the ones who benefit most when opportunities arise. Allah's blessings are never random. They are tailored to the readiness of the individual who trusts Him completely. Trusting Allah also requires surrendering anxiety and fear. The believer who relinquishes control over outcomes allows divine wisdom to guide the course of events. Worry and obsession with timing often cloud judgment and create unnecessary strain. True preparation lies in balancing effort with surrender, acting diligently while leaving the results to Allah. When this balance is achieved, the heart remains serene, and the soul is free to embrace the blessings that Allah is about to bestow. Through trust, patience, gratitude, and mindfulness, the believer aligns with divine timing. They create a heart and a home ready to receive what has been written for them. Every act of preparation, no matter how small, is a step closer to experiencing Allah's mercy in its fullest form. The believer who cultivates this readiness understands that Allah is about to give them everything they need: the blessings, the protection, the guidance, and the fulfillment of dreams, all perfectly timed for their heart and soul to receive and appreciate them fully.